Sandblaster's supposed to be here in about 6 days, and I need to get the rollers off of here. I need to get the parts out, take our front leaf springs out, and decide which set of tracks and chains we're going to use. But we got a lot of work ahead of us this week. Every time I turn around. I'm going to move the track frames in here so we can start taking the rollers off of them. Dad's organizing all of the painted parts over here on our rolling shelf, so they're ready to go on the machine. We got to put a few more coats of paint on the fuel barrels on the fuel pump. Probably should soak all these first, I guess. So the debate is whether the big Milwaukee, once again, will take these off of here. I'm betting yes. Dad's betting no. And Dad's wrong. None of these rollers look terrible. I think we're going to go ahead and reuse them. And you can see that these ones in the front and the back are the open style. And the ones in the center are the captured style. And I have other ones that we can change these if we need to. But I'm not seeing any serious problems.
I don't think they're bad at all.
No, that bushing doesn't look bad at all. Clean it up. I don't see any big grooves in there.
No, I think this is going to go back together nice. See this shim? This is why we need to keep them the way they are for our track alignment.
Dad's getting his punch back out. He loves his punch, and we're going to mark these so we don't get them mixed up. Number 1 on the left.
This is 2, 3,
and this one's 4.
They're not bad.
No, they're really good. Right now we're debating whether to take this front idler and spring and tensioning spring and everything off of here to sandblast it. I don't know. What do you think, Dad? I don't know. We've been burned by not taking stuff apart before.
Yeah.
But this isn't as mechanical as some of the stuff we've been working on. And we did get this loose. We got all this loose, so I don't know. What do you think?
I think we probably should pull our idler.
Pull this
and clean that all up for sure. But I don't know about the spring tensioner. That thing's got a lot of power in it. They're pretty much ready. They're not bent up.
No, the track guards on this are all present and none of them are bent. I'm going to go get a pallet and stuff that we don't need to do any work on. We're going to put on that pallet because it's ready for the sandblaster. Right now we're just separating out all the sheet metal between stuff that's ready for sandblast and stuff that we still need to address.
Those hold your armrests.
Yeah, we'll might have to cut some of these off. Dent back here, this is where the arm for the belt pulley attaches. We'll have to fix that.
We need to straighten that, yeah.
That's not terrible to fix.
One little one here to straighten out.
There's minor dings and dents and all this stuff, but honestly, that was one thing I think we got excited about when we first picked up this tractor is all this stuff is relatively straight and relatively complete.
How do these things, are they, oh, they're just,
they're riveted. So they'll stay in there. That's what the seat cushion clips into on the bottom. And then we're going to pop this brass tag off of here too before we sandblast. We'll just drive those drive rivets out from the other side. It should be that you just put that armrest on here and put new bolts through these existing holes. And then this should pop up off of here with a bar. Dad likes the patina on this fuel tank, and the toolbox and everything is really nice, but I think patina is another word for I don't want to paint. I like patina. Dad got excited that he's got an opportunity to use the torch over here on this seat. This is the bottom of the seat cushion. There.
Oh, I see. Okay.
See?
Okay.
And then your new seat cushion hooks in there.
Okay. There you go.
Torch time! Dad's favorite time. Don't damage that wood. That's special wood from the forests of Peoria. Yeah, we're going to keep all this old hardware. I mean, in the future, it could be used. Again, these rollers are not terrible on this side. This one here has a little bit more than on the other side. You can see a little bit of a dish to them. And this has been proven to be true on this tractor. Everything on the right side of Lil Lefty has got a lot more wear on it. And we're wagering that, well, of course, the power's on the right side if they're turning left. Up next, we got to take the idlers off the top of the tracks. Now, this is the right side of Lefty, and it's got quite a bit of wear. So I'm debating whether I might build this up a little bit. I'm not quite sure yet. But that's not going to stop us from sandblasting. That one over there I think we can leave alone. Broken bolt, and there's one on the same one on the other track too. See if I can get that out of there. And then I have one of these blocks is broken off somewhere, and I put it somewhere and I cannot remember where I put it. I know it seems like we're jumping from one thing to the next, but we are.
Well, we gotta know where we're at with this stuff.
Yeah, we do. See where our problems are. We got a bolt broken off in here I'll have to address, and none of these are wanting to come out. Oh, it worked. Okay, so our plan, let me flip this thing over. Plan is just to cut these nuts off of here, maybe grind them off, and I'll tack weld new ones on there. We got to get new screws for this anyway. And we have this one dent in the side of the hood. Really, this is the only one right here that we need to push out, and I don't think that's going to be a tough one. We just put some pound in here, put a little body filler on the outside when we get ready to paint. I think we're going to be okay with the hood. Dad got his torch out, and we're having luck with these. There you go. Well, that's good. I only got to worry about this one down here. This is a access cover to get to the pony motor, the magneto, and the carburetor without taking the whole hood off, but later on they did away with that. This side panel's probably took the brunt of everything, and I'm going to take this weld off of here. I'll put this cover back on and I'll smooth this up. They've welded this here. I'll grind that down. We'll straighten up this dent in here, this dent up here, and I will tack weld this back in from the other side. These are a 1/4 inch fine thread, so a 1/4 28. And I've got a new nut in it. I'm going to get different bolts. I'm going to get bolts that are correct for this. But we couldn't get any threads to work in there. These are all fine. So we're going to grind the nut off the back, and I'm going to tack this one on here. So now what are you doing?
This is the 9 1/4 from the front of the hood to the
C on the Caterpillar.
To the C on the Caterpillar on the left-hand side.
What Dad's doing right now is taking measurements of where all the decals are on all these body parts so that we can have them for a reference when we go to put the new decals on the hood and the seat and everything. Caterpillar diesel on the back of the seat, and I'm almost betting, Dad, that these might be the originals.
Oh, I think they are.
And I don't see anything else here. I don't see that cool D4 thing with the whiskers. Same with the side fuel tank. I really don't see any signs of decals on that either. I don't see any on the toolbox. Dad thinks they might just be worn off. And it might be. Hard to say.
6 1/4 to the top of the letters.
The C and the L on the Caterpillar. Probably ought to measure what their distance is between them, because those are two separate decals.
Yeah, 1 inch apart.
There's always one. Nope, it's the same too. I don't know why that one was shorter.
I don't either. These are all the same.
I'm gonna go steal one off of that 7J out there. I just ran out to the D4 parts store, and I was looking for another bolt that's this correct length. And on that real McCoy dozer, they're shot. They must have come loose at some point, and it wobbled them. And then the other side, they've got welded on there, so nothing good there. But I did find something we might use. Oh, Festus. I loved Gunsmoke. Any other Gunsmoke fans out there? They're not like new, but they're in really good shape. So we might want to take those off of here. I think we're going to use these tracks too. I know we need new master pins on 4G, and I'm wagering that these aren't terrible since these chains are virtually new. Just like these ones off of the 7J. Now we're going to have to change out all the track pads, or as I call them, grousers. The sad thing is I like Festus. I kind of love that tractor, and the bolt hole in the stack is very Festus. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. It'll sandblast a lot easier if they can get all the way around it. And we can take this apart, clean it, check it out, and grease it.
There it goes. There.
I see why this was so difficult. I should have backed these off here. There's a spring-loaded shim in here, and that's what was making it go hard the whole way.
Shim pack is here on the, this is the inside, yeah. Looks like there's 3 on the inside and 2 on the outside over here. That is the outside.
It looks like it.
Yeah, that's the outside.
Yeah, because
here's your oiler.
We'll have to take all that apart.
So, you got to keep that straight. Okay.
That's just getting the big chunks out of here so that the sandblaster doesn't have to waste time and we don't get grease and stuff impregnated into the metal. Got all the rollers out here waiting, and the carriers up there next to the shop, so we'll do the same thing with all those. Got the track frame over here on the skid steer forks, where I can handle it a little easier, and I think I'm going to try something a little different taking this apart. I'm going to take these bolts loose here and there. It looks like that pin that goes through the center is a captured pin with a bolt, that one right there sticking up in the middle, holding it in. And there's one of those on each side. I've been fighting this. Let's go see what Dad's fighting outside. What do you got going on? I hear choice words out here once in a while.
I have stuck pins in these bushings on these springs. These were stuck. The one side's okay, and it was wearing the pins.
Oh, I see this one.
It's stuck.
It's got some really bad wear on it. So there's 6 pins in that leaf spring pack, and 4 of them are okay, but we need 2. And I'm thinking we might have to borrow those off of Festus. Pretty sure the press is the only way we're going to get that out of there. I'm working on these track frames in here, chasing threads and different things like that, but when I got 4G, inside the toolbox was this, which fits right there. And that is to hold the guards that go over the top. And I'm going to chase these out. I've got a couple of these that have a bolt broken off in them. I'm going to weld this back on. Got that welded. It's kind of a blob of weld, but these all have a blob of weld behind them from the factory, and that blob didn't hold, so this blob hopefully will. Dad's not having a good day over there, and neither am I. I'm going to put a helicoil in here to hold it. You okay back there?
Yeah.
You got that out?
Finally.
He's been fighting that thing for about an hour and a half, just like I've been fighting that threads for that guard thing. Okay. I got helicoils in that. Dad got his pin out. We're going to have to steal one off of 5T out there. And I've got all the threads chased. The guards will go on here. I'm sorry, folks. This was one of those shut the camera off and get it done days. So I didn't get to bring you along for a lot of this, but we got it done. And I think the plan tomorrow is to finish cleaning up the grease and everything off of the rollers and actually start pounding dents out of the sheet metal. We're that much closer. I do want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Weld a nut on what's left of this bolt in here, and in theory that nut will stick to that what's left of the bolt, and I got a little bit of threads there, so it's kind of tightened up on there. And when that weld heats up that bolt, it'll expand, and then when it cools it'll contract, and it should be able to unscrew right off of there, but we're gonna find out. This is the same thing that I did when I got all the bolts out of the radiator that were completely rusted out. I unscrewed the nut. I don't get it. My weld is not penetrating that bolt.
It's all rusty.
I ground it.
I know, but that's hard. I would just drill it out.
Just to explain how big of a pain today was for us, Dad, take it away.
This is probably why I've been so grouchy all afternoon. When I pulled that seat apart and took all them old rusty things out, there were a bunch of these little tacks in there. And starting at about noon or right after I did that, I had a rock in my shoe. And I took my shoe off and I couldn't find anything. Well, it's quitting time now, and I took my shoe off because it kept poking me. And guess what? I turned it over, and this nail was in there, and when I'd step on it just right, guess what? It's been annoying me all afternoon.
And I know it's been annoying him because he's made it very clear it's been annoying him.
Because I've been annoying you.
Yes. Can you remember why we were looking forward to doing track work?
No.